slander. I didn't dox him. That's not true. That's not true. As a matter of fact, no, it's not true. No, it's not true. Fuck yourself, you piece of shit, faggot motherfucker. No, it's not true. Piece of shit. And if I had to guess, it was probably you that fucking doxed him. Motherfucking lying, cock-sucking faggot motherfucker. You want to holler over me every fucking second? I can just scream over you too, you piece of shit motherfucker. Keep fucking running your mouth. I'll just keep hollering. You motherfucking piece of shit. Eat a fucking cock. Go kill yourself. You fucking piece of motherfucking shit! I fucking goddamn! Oh, we can just holler over each other all fucking day! Oh,
yeah, get the fuck out.
Fuck you, motherfucker! I ain't leaving, bitch! You leave! What the fuck am I gotta leave for?
Because I can be on YouTube still.
Oh, wow! With your little 30 people on YouTube, oh my god, please!
I got more subs than you right now.
Okay!
Well, that was Ethan Ralph. Getting a little worked up there. Good afternoon. Today we're going to be talking about some recent happenings that have been concerning Mr. Ralph and other characters. This whole thing is kind of a continuation from the last time I live streamed, where Zoom and Ralph had a falling out over Zoom apparently going on stream and calling out Ralph for, or not really calling out Ralph, just fucking with him really, about him being the mundane Matt of Stream Me. And this appeared to have wounded Ralph to the point where he banned Zoom from his server, he freaked out, he decided he was going to take a break for a few days, and he had a bit of a meltdown. As you can hear in the audio, he's not in a good spot. A bad headspace, as some might say. Now, I also have to issue a correction because I had misread something yesterday that Ralph had wrote. Let me take a look at that here. And I'll show that on screen in just a moment. There you go. So this is where the source of the image where the doxing allegations came from. Or rather, they came from this character here, Lord Akira, who is a supporter of Ralph, who donated lots of money to him, and was also a bit of a critic of him at the same time, because he liked the show, but he didn't like certain things, the direction it was going. Just the usual criticisms, such as it was getting boring, there weren't enough guests, and Ralph was being too thin-skinned over the Gunt meme, which he clearly was. But the thing I got wrong was I read this message here about him, that he later sent to Kira. Oh, that had nothing to do with doxing you. I just don't want to fuck with you because you're untrustworthy. 100% sure that was you who leaked Andy messages with Geek as well, by the way. Yeah, I read that as him admitting to having doxed him. No, he was saying that he was outright denying it. But the question is he telling the truth? Did he not have anything to do with this dox that happened 4 minutes after this conversation here? Or was it a case of where, yeah, he totally did it, like all the circumstantial evidence adds up? So let's start digging into some of these pieces a little bit more in depth. Now, the first one is this image. Now, this one is a combination of, there's about 4 screenshots that are 4 or 5 screenshots that are relevant here. The first one being this DM exchange, which started with this one here, but I actually found some more leaks that make this add a little bit more context to what's going on here. So Ralph was announcing a stream he was going to cover, and this was right around the Pinecone Gate scandal, where Andy fucked this degenerate fat chick and was rather embarrassed about it. And he said he was going to cover Kraut falls below 100K, Elon Musk under fire, college could expel kid over Pepe, Oscar outrage, and more. Live tonight at 10:05. And Akira asks, will Andy's self-immolation on Zoom stream be covered as well? Ralph responds, I'm not talking about that, no. Didn't watch it and have other shit to cover. And that's kind of weird, I gotta say. And I commented on this last time, but it's just Ralph shielding for Andy, really. Because they have a deal that's coming up, and part of the reason Ralph is taking a break is to make plans to relocate so that the stream with him and Andy going to Miami can go over well. But it continues. During the show, Akira was tuning into Nick Ricada, and this is a super chat he sent. Rip Killstream. Nick is our nectar now. And Ralph says, laughing my ass off, appearing to take it well at first. Then Akira messages, Ralph, don't pick this fight, and links to Kiwi Farms thread where people are attacking him over his recent dispute with Josh and other things, especially after this poor showing, referring to how poor the quality of the show was that night. And the chat there was not pretty happy with the way Ralph was not covering the Andy situation, which Akira, right here, he asked if it'll be covered, and Ralph chose not to cover it. So, yeah, Akira's pretty much gotten I told you so over Ralph here. And then, okay, this is a bit further. Let's go to this one. That's better. And then we get the image that we see in the collage over here, where this is after this image here gets leaked. Ralph takes umbrage to that because he doesn't like when people leak DMs. And he responds with, oh, I'll unblock you just to say this. I don't give a fuck how much money you gave me. When you shared DMs, you decided to kill. Good luck in your future endeavors. Now, people have taken this to have been a veiled threat because what happened almost immediately after, and by that I mean the span of less than 5 minutes. Right here is Akira's docs. There was also a link to his LinkedIn account, which I've removed. And this shows some images and some personal tidbits about himself. And the source of this is the question: who posted this right after this bad exchange? Because Ralph denies it up and down. He said so multiple times, and in fact, he said so immediately after. But the way he puts it doesn't really. It's not a good look, and I'll explain. As for Lord Akira, fuck him. And no, I didn't do anything to the faggot. He probably doxed himself if I had to guess. That's a really weird response. It's possible that maybe he did dox himself, maybe he didn't, but the chance of him doxing himself and revealing such personal information is rather low. Why would you hit yourself just to own your enemies? I mean, there's a very good chance that people take all that personal shit and then you'd start being laughed at just as much as, if not more so, than as Ralph. He continues, if you have a problem with me, that's fine. If you fall out of the feeling to support the show, also fine. I appreciate the past support, but if you're leaking my DMs and shit, you can eat shit. Well, again, it's kind of odd that Ralph would just go ahead in this line of attack after one of his biggest supporters, even if he stopped being a supporter 5 minutes ago, which, again, the collage shows a post by Lord Akira who's apparently name-tagging on Cal, which, why would you do that? He says, I guess my mentality is I made good money and didn't really pay for cable, streaming, etc. So I figured why not throw some shekels, make the show improved. The show turned to shit, despite me telling him to go back to basics with it. And I got tired of being ignored for losing strategy. So, yeah, Lord Akira basically said that he was done with Ralph at that point. So you compare this with how he handled Coach, where he told Coach that best of luck to your future endeavors. And he said he meant that, even though Coach really threw him under the bus. Now, granted, Coach did it in a really cringy way that made him look really stupid, but that was handled a lot better than this. And I don't think Coach ever gave Ralph a dime. Later on, Ralph would say that he talked to Lord Akira and that, he was a great supporter of the show, ironed some stuff out, finding how a simple phone call can clear up all that internet bullshit. After they made this tweet, there were some developments. Apparently, Lord Akira walked back some of his statements, though he no longer definitively knew for sure if Ralph doxed him or not. He couldn't be sure of that, and I still don't think anyone really can at this point. And Ralph would then expand. Now we'll get to that one in a second. Let me get to this one first. And we'll go back to this one as well, because there's 2 paragraphs, but there's several paragraphs. We're going to read 2 of them, but I'm going to divide them into 2 parts. Ralph said on Kiwi Farms, which, why would you post your own thread on Kiwi Farms? That's exceptional, Ralph. No, I did not dox Lord Akira. I know some of you believe I am exceptional. Well, I mean, obviously. But that would be taking it to the next level, and I absolutely deny the allegation 1,000%. Now, to be fair to Ralph here, I've never seen him directly dox someone. He's done things that have close to doxing, such as hanging out with people who conveniently dox others, such as in the Ralph Slack leaks, which you can find those on Encyclopedia Dramatica. And he's also taken doxes that have already been posted and spread them further. Those are two things he did. But as far as revealing this private or not so private information publicly himself, no, he hasn't done that, at least not to the best of my knowledge. And you can feel free to correct me if that's not the case. He goes on, it is my belief that someone had his docs already. This has been shown to be a tactic as of late among my critics, which I don't know if this is true or not. That's what Ralph's claiming, but let me just move on. And leaked it when they saw there was an issue between us. He agreed with that on this call, but is singing a different tune now. Oh well, lol. My inclination was not to talk to him again after he started leaking DMs, but he had been staunch supporter of the show, and I figured I should try my best to make it right. Regardless, I still wish him the best. Now this shows a particular behavior of Ralph, just as an aside, where he'll react or overreact to something, or maybe he'll just generally express himself of his frustration at someone, and then later he'll try to walk it back and try to smooth things over. It's just a little interesting trait there, which I'm seeing more and more from others as well. All right, now, and of course this led to the Spurg out that Ralph had that I played at the beginning, which I'll play, which he got. This happened in an argument between Dispatch and Ralph. This was clipped by Utter Drama, and let me just play that.
I didn't like it. I didn't like you doxing my supporters. No, I didn't. I didn't like you doxing my supporters, Xander. Xander. I didn't dox him. That's not true. That's not true. As a matter of fact, no, it's not true. No, it's not true. Fuck yourself, you piece of shit, faggot motherfucker. No, it's not true. Piece of shit. And if I had to guess, it was probably you that fucking doxed him. Motherfucking lying, cocksucking faggot motherfucker. You want to holler over me every fucking second? I can just scream over you too, you piece of shit motherfucker. Keep fucking running your mouth. I'll just keep hollering. You motherfucking piece of shit. Eat a fucking cock. Go kill yourself. You fucking piece of motherfucking shit! I fucking goddamn! Oh, we can just holler over each other all fucking day! Oh,
yeah, get the fuck out.
Fuck you, motherfucker! I ain't leaving, bitch! You leave! What the fuck am I gonna leave for?
Because I can be on YouTube still.
Oh, wow! With your little 30 people on YouTube, oh my god, please!
I got more subs than you right now.
Okay!
At least I can be on here and I'm not filing false flags on other people. Mundane.
I didn't file any false flags, asshole.
Oh, you just were what? I was just bullying poor Ralph over here with the gun.
No, you were doxing supporters.
That never gets old. I don't think it will for a while. So that was an argument that Ralph and Dispatch had. As you heard the exchange, to provide a little bit more context behind that. Dispatch was calling out Ralph for doxing one of his supporters, which is funny because Dispatch is notorious for doxing pretty much all of Ralph's supporters because he really doesn't like Ralph. And they had a bit of a spat and an argument over that. And there's some other beef and history between them, but the thing I think that clip highlights, and the reason why, besides it's funny that people keep on playing, is because Ralph's reaction to that, and I get that Dispatch was arguing a very annoying sort of way where he was just not listening to his opponent, trying to just talk over him, etc. But nonetheless, Ralph gets extremely angry over something he supposedly didn't do. He gets very vitriolic, he yells over them, and he just can't help himself. When a simple, no, I didn't do that, would suffice. And there are other people who could have possibly doxed this guy. But the reason why but I should point out that another reason why a lot of fingers are being pointed at Ralph, and he's the prime suspect in this, is because he had access to that guy's information. He had access to his real name at the very least and his email. That's because when you donate through PayPal to any of these E-celebs, yeah, your information is going to go over to them. Like, if you're going to do this, and I don't recommend you ever do that, but if you were to do that, then use a sock. Like, I think that's the lesson here. But aside from that, so that's essentially the gist of the situation. Ralph has the means, the opportunity, and the motive, but I don't know if he has the willingness to go ahead and go through with that. Again, it's one of two things that is really consistent with Ralph, and that's rare to say, but it's true in this case. With Ralph, there is two things he won't do. He won't leak DMs, and he won't And the other thing is he won't directly dox himself. The closest I've seen him come to that is when someone accidentally released their contacts on their phone and he republished it. But again, that's not him releasing the info. That's someone else being an idiot and dropping that, and someone else screenshotting and posting it elsewhere. So Ralph does have a bit of plausible deniability in this, but there's also another matter that came up very recently, and I'd like to go over that as well. It happened on Zoom stream, which gets us to the second paragraph that I want to go to from that other post. Let me just switch to browsers again. And here it is. So here's the second bit, which led to the revelations that Zoom showed. And I'm not going to show all of them because most of it would just be me agreeing with him that, Ralph lied to him in multiple instances. He was being two-faced, and he's still being two-faced. Although I will cover the one thing here. I'll also give a link to Zoom stream so you can see it for yourself. I'll even have it timestamped. I'm working on the Monday show, but here's Ralph's statement. I'm working on the Monday show and focusing on that. It's true that I was hesitant to act on Corey Brownhill's blatant deplatforming of Josh, and only meekly said, well, I think that's wrong, and he should still be on Stream Me. I should have told Corey to eat a bullet instead. This is my mistake, and I take full responsibility for not calling him out and letting him worm his way into my program. I'm also going to say this Monday while Josh is with us, but I acted with too much self-interest and not enough conviction of character, and I apologize to Josh for that. Now, the weird thing about that is that what Zoom revealed was that, no, that's wrong. You were in agreement with getting rid of Josh, and you said that in the DMs with him. And he also revealed a bunch of other stuff, like how he was supposedly against people trolling one of his moderators, but he told Zoom, go ahead, do it anyway, and other related stuff. Again, Zoom has that part has that on his channel, and I'm not going to go over every single little instance, but the thing to me that was interesting was what happened next, where he revealed something about Ralph's activities, which this is where things get a little bit interesting. Let me just, before I do that, do this. All right, get that up and press play.
Isn't that funny how Ralph is so honest and transparent, yet he's laughing with me about me openly fucking with his supporters and openly trolling his pay pigs? Which, by the way, if you guys really want some truth, Negro Joe, can you join the server? Actually, I'm going to bring in Dr. Roxo. Negro Joe, you're in the server too. I'm going to bring you two up. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Are you guys here, Dr. Roxo and Negro Joe?
Hello.
Okay. Hey, you know what? I've decided that since Ralph is going to be such a fucking faggot, let's tell everybody the real truth about Plate Gang. Should we tell them about what Ralph's real opinion of Plate Gang is and how he used to hang out with us in a private server and make fun of all the pay pegs? You think that's going too far, Roxo?
I don't know, it's true, so...
Yeah, all you ardent defenders of Ralph, your pay pigs. Yeah, he used to hang out with us in a server. I know because it was the first time I hung out with the Plate Gang. They invited me into the server. And it's this...
Punished Ralph, let's see if we can get a screenshot of Punished Ralph's account still being in them.
Yeah, go see if he's still in the server, Roxo, because he was in the server with us all the time, and he would come into VC with us and talk about how you guys that pay money to him are all faggots. And he would sit and make fun of you guys with us. Half the reason why he tolerated Plate Gang was because he would make fun of you with us. He never cared about you guys.
A deputy wrangler!
Oh, you got it?
It's in my server.
Yeah, get me that screenshot right now. Which one is it? Is it the autism awareness one?
It's in autism awareness. You can grab it too. You're a wrangler there too.
Yeah, where the hell is he?
Just switch in the member list.
Oh yeah, there he is. Punished Ralph, Deputy Wrangler. You know how everybody said that. You know how everybody said that Ralph was in a secret doxing server. Yeah, this is a secret doxing server. We were covering for him the entire time.
Now, this is interesting for a couple of reasons. Firstly, it seems to me that, firstly, like when Zoom points out that the skeptics had called him out on that, well, yeah, they did, and now Zoom's saying that it's true, and this was something that was brought up a while back, but nobody took the skeptics seriously because, well, the people leading the charge, guys like Donga, Kraut, Nick Diorio, and other, frankly, losers and chuckleheads that couldn't argue. They couldn't argue that the Earth was round against a flat Earth creationist. So, what? But what I find particularly funny is that Ralph sort of admitted to at least part of the accusations here, and I'll play that clip just now. Give me a moment. All right, so here we go. Let's hear that. Let's see what that sounded like.
Prove that it's real.
Just like all the doxing shit from your server was fake.
Yeah, everything's fake, Ralph. You're very
it's all fake.
You're a good boy.
Well, it
You're
is
a good
fake.
boy. That's why you're kicked off YouTube. You're a good boy. You didn't do nothing.
I don't give
This
a
is the
fuck.
first time I'm hearing any guy say
Exactly
was
what
fake.
went on in Spike Club.
I don't give a
fucking
fuck about
know. You had it
YouTube.
brought to
I
your
don't
That's
give a
why
fuck.
you're here. That's why you're
You
on this show
literally
you claim
wrote-
to not care about because you don't care about
literally
YouTube.
Don't care. After someone brought it to your attention.
You're so
Why
pathetic,
did you
Ralph.
kick
About
Negro
Zoom? Yeah,
Joe?
About Zoom, yeah.
Why did you
Yeah,
kick
did say.
ban Negro Joe that one time?
I've banned people and let them back
What-
in the
why-
stream.
no, there was a
Mods.
What do you
specific
ban? Wait,
reason.
I thought you didn't
Dude,
care. What do you
Akujin,
ban
let me,
people
let me
for?
ask you something, Akujin,
It
whatever
was
the fuck your
because
name
he
is.
fucking doxed
You
someone,
were in
and then
Negro
you let him
Joe's
back
server.
the next
You were
day,
in Negro Joe's
you
server.
gave him
you
a
lying
role.
faggot. You were in his server, in there yucking it up with him every single day in his voice chat. You were big buddies with Negro
were-
Joe.
How do you know that if you weren't there, Ralph?
Because I was there and I saw Akujin there. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so you were aware of it,
That was a separate server from mine. I was in there. Akujin was in there.
but you were
Great
aware of
buddies
that.
with Negro Joe.
But
and
you
now
were aware-
Negro Joe's evil.
Ralph knew.
And he's
Ralph
despicable.
knew.
I
Ralph knew?
always had a problem with
Ralph
that
knew?
shit. I openly said it. Why do you think
Akujin's
I've
admitted
fucking
all of
made
this.
enemies
You're the
I
one
was in
saying
there
you didn't
with
know
these
about it.
people?
I didn't say I didn't know about anything. I said I was in his server,
Oh,
which is separate
bullshit.
from
Ralph
mine.
knew?
Fucking didn't know
Can I
anything.
get a Ralph new?
Ralph don't
Can I
give
get a
fuck.
Ralph new?
Ralph
Well,
knew.
then why does Ralph lie
Ralph
about it?
doesn't
Why does
give a
Ralph
fuck
lie
when
if
it
Ralph
comes
doesn't give a
back to
fuck?
him.
As soon as it shows back
One
up
at
at
a
your doorstep,
fucking
you've got to
time.
make some shit up. You're
As soon as
pathetic.
there's like some sort of connection back to Ralph directly, then he gives a fuck.
This is why your
Until then, he
spineless
doesn't give a
ass
fuck.
like
I'm
to-
saying
Because
you
you're
were
a
in his server.
disingenuous, lying
You were
piece
in
of
his server.
fucking
I was
shit.
in there to chat and voice chat once or twice. You were an active
Oh,
participant.
maybe.
in the server.
Oh, how do you know I wasn't in there for that?
Well,
Did
I'm
you
just,
ever see me do anything nefarious? No.
I don't know.
How
I don't
come
hang on
everybody-
Discord.
did
I don't.
ever-
I don't hang
did
on
I ever
Discord
come to
25
you
hours a day
directly?
like you.
Did I ever message you directly about doxing in your server and say that it needs to
I
be
don't.
fixed?
Don't know.
Now you don't remember.
Don't know. Don't
You're
care.
a fucking lying cunt.
How come
Don't know,
everybody who
don't
calls
care.
you out gets doxxed?
Don't
Now
know.
you
care.
don't know, don't care. Because you're fucking
Don't know, don't
full of
care.
shit.
Okay, Rob. Well, if you don't care, then what?
Yeah. So there you have it. Like Ralph admitted to being like that. Essentially, the accusations, at least some of them that the skeptics were making in regards to doxing servers, yeah, he was privy to what they were doing. But the question here becomes, what involvement did he have exactly? Because if you've noticed, Tonka saw in that clip stresses the meme of like a play on the Sargon new meme in order to put that criticism back to Ralph. See, Ralph, if you recall, Sargon knew some of the stuff that Kraut was doing, and he kind of just, rather than just coming down on Kraut and saying, no, this is bullshit, stop it, he decided to just kind of go along with it and not really say anything publicly about it until he saw which way the wind was blowing, and then he disowned Kraut. That's essentially what happened. In Ralph's case, this would be like the implication that Tonka was giving here would be that Ralph knew that people were that there was this group here that was going after people, and he was just okay with it, despite calling out people for doing the exact same thing. So essentially saying one thing in public and doing another thing in private. And if you listen to Zoom and the Plate Gang, they seem to just agree 100% with us that that's pretty much what happened. Although some of their allegations, which we'll go into that a bit, we'll go into that a bit because some of them overreach that and go into the idea that Ralph was ordering them about, which there is some evidence for and some not for. Let's look at that.
Ralph was with us the entire time. This is Ralph right here. Punished Ralph 8698. He's hanging out with us in the doxing server.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this is the other server too, where all the docs get posted for all the pay pigs, where we fuck with people and make fun of Ralph. Here's where we've been fucking with David Sherratt's mom for the past week and a half, trying to get her to come on the show and bully her. Here's where we openly created the Gunt meme and perpetuated it to fuck with Ralph because we thought it was funny. All the shit that's been fucking with Ralph, including the Gunt thing, the Plate Gang made and did it to fuck with Ralph. Everything that's ever bothered Ralph, we made to fuck with him. The whole Gunt thing came from Mr. P and Mustard. They made the original memes and posted them on Cal for everyone to enjoy. They posted the original pictures during the thing because Ralph was posting them to us in the private server before he posted it on the regular server. This is how fake Ralph is. Ralph has been hanging out with us for months and shit-talking all of his pay pigs and making fun of them with us. And anybody that's ever fucked with Ralph or pissed him off, we've been doxing them for him, including Alex. We went after Alex because Ralph didn't like him.
So I was brown in the server because we would make fun of people, dox them, talk shit to them, we get on their streams, and then we'd do something funny, and then I would be like, hey, image posting now, respect!
Yeah, Ralph was hanging out with us the entire time. Negro Joe stopped coming on the kill stream because Ralph got mad because we kept fucking making fun of pictures of Nora with dick tits. And it was bothering Nora and she kept banning everybody from the server. Which, by the way...
Nora left the server. She left the server
because of it. And, you know, Ralph's such a real guy, right? Here's him making fun of the fact that we've been trolling Bad Tits for weeks talking about how she's cheating on Ralph. How Ralph is fucking her and cheating on Nora. And Ralph knew that it was a joke. He knew that it was a joke the entire time, and he told us to continue to fuck with Bad Tits because he thought it was funny. Apparently your wife is gonna leave you or some shit, and you're into financial domination, so you buy her purses and clothes and she pretends to be your wife. And your show is dying, and Gator ruins everything and he wishes he was Jim. It's always something with these people. Lol, large if accurate. Also, if Gator's trying to be Jim, he should just try harder. I don't understand that accusation. Maybe I'm missing something, LMAO. So even your own fucking co-host you're making fun of, you're even saying that fucking Gator will never be Jim. And you're laughing about it with me. Snick, mute yourself. We don't want to hear you eat. My wife was joking about some expensive purse one time and trolled me on Twitter about it. Is Valk here?
I think you have to go.
So the part where, so this confirms that, yeah, Ralph did indeed know. He knew about all this shit. But there's one issue that I'm seeing here with this, and maybe there will be more evidence being brought to light. I'm certain that Zoom and the Plate Gang haven't stopped harping on this issue because they're pretty upset with him over the bannings and just being a spurg, or more importantly, they just want to fuck with him. But it's the thing that's overstated though is that they're claiming that Ralph had given them directives to dox people. None of the images that Zoom showed was there any doxes posted, nor was there any directives by Ralph to do something. In fact, Ralph's not posting in those screenshots. So Ralph was active. Ralph was there. He confirmed it on the Kumite. He was able to know that he was able to be present enough to know to give a time an amount of time in which Akujin was active with these guys. And yeah, that part is substantiated. But did Ralph order the doxes? Did Ralph contribute any doxes himself? Well, we don't know from the evidence given so far. There's another part in the stream I want to skip to, and then we will get to another clip in a moment. Okay.
Sure, posting rights.
All right. So at this point, Zoom and the Plate Gang have talked for some time, and they brought another member, J666, to give her side of the story.
On his server, so we backed him up.
Yep.
Yeah, Ralph paid Plate Gang off so that we wouldn't show the fact that he was working with.
Give it one moment. I got the wrong timestamp.
When we first had the autism awareness server for the Plate Gang.
I mean, he was in there.
Okay, and what did he do when we were making fun of pay pigs? Did he come in and?
Well, he absolutely he rolled with it. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he's denying that he ever rolled with it. He's saying that he was never involved, that he was never around in any of those servers. I think one of the biggest complaints was that people said that they knew that Ralph was running a doxing server, and that Ralph claimed he was never involved with it, and we kept it a secret because he let us have picture posting rights on his server, so we backed him up.
Yep.
Yeah, Ralph paid Plate Gang off so that we wouldn't show the fact that he was working with us and letting us dox people that he didn't like. Like how we doxed Alex and we found out that he faked that his wife had a fucking, his fiance was fake. And then we faked the entire thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta turn you down, J6. That's still just to 44 because you're really loud.
We openly dox people on his server all the fucking time. He even plays in with the Plate Gang memes, and suddenly he wants to ban all of us because it's not looking good for him. I mean, he does this all the fucking time.
We've been banned multiple times and then brought back when we do something funny to somebody else.
Pretty much.
Like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, we didn't bring it back. His image posting rights. And all those pay pigs complaining, well, they've been a part of the server forever, you know what I'm saying?
Pretty much.
Like, we bring him shekels, and then he's like, oh, here's your posting rights back.
He actually said I was supposed to be permanently banned at one point, and just brought me back, so whatever. He's a cuck.
Yeah, Mustard's not supposed to have image rights.
Yeah, we all backed Ralph. We kept it a fucking secret the entire time. He was hanging out with us and letting us fuck with his pay pigs because he said it caused drama and it made people watch him. Because eventually, that's why he let us fuck with Kenny so hard. Because when we were fucking...
He would laugh about Zidane and Chloe, too. He told us about what she had... about how she got her mod.
Yeah.
There's
Chloe,
a shitload of logs.
Yeah, Chloe lost her admin because we were bullying her. And they asked us to please be nice. So we said, okay, if she loses admin, we'll stop fucking with her. And then we only did that because Zidane asked us politely to stop fucking with people.
Like, I thought she left the server.
Like we can pull up, we can get logs and everything. Ralph's in our fucking server right now. Like I have fucking Ralph's right here. I can click his fucking name, punished Ralph 8698, and he's fucking sitting in the autism awareness server right fucking now. Punished Ralph 8698. He's hanging out with us the entire time, and we dox people all the time in Ralph's server, and he never does anything about it. Because he knew that we were doing it. He was letting us do it.
Yep.
Hold on, Negro Joe's messaging me.
As long as it doesn't directly affect him, I don't think he cares that much.
Stop.
But he's still a hypocrite.
Stop trolling the other chat and patrons, or I'm gonna ban you. What? LOL. I'm getting complaints. LMAO. Do whatever in Spurg Club, and that's what it is. Spurg Club is autism awareness. Stop trolling the other chat and patrons or I'm gonna ban you. He even gave some of us access to the special patron chat, and we were going in there and fucking with the patron pay pigs, and he would take it away, and then he would give it back to us a few days later.
The Brown names had it until he made the new one where we weren't allowed to go because we were meanie bully jerks.
Also, what Caesar just said, Vamp used to be a mod in the server for a long time.
In Ralph's server, yeah.
Post something against Stream Me Toss, and I'll give you rights back immediately. LOL, the pizza one was really good. What is he choking her with? Is that his cock? LMAO. Can he even see it?
Oh
LMAO. Finally, this is how fucking fake Ralph is.
He's like one of us, but he doesn't want his shekel stream to stop, or else he's gonna have to get a real job and start flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Exactly.
Apparently, Ralph is too scared to come into our server, and he's saying "eat a dick" because he doesn't want to face all of the plate gang at once because he knows we have all of the logs to destroy his entire career.
All right, so just to recap on that, on what you just heard, Zoom and the Plate Gang are alleging that Ralph was a part of the server, and they did social evidence, and they did prove that in my book, and they show that they were making fun of patrons of his, and they were like making fun of other people, and they were yucking up, trolling with people, and doing like and they also allege that they were doxing people. Now, I know that the Plate Gang has looked into people, like having talked to them, interacted with them. I know they have fucked with people in the past, and they've looked up their stuff, which to be honest, like they were asking for it, but like it's not like. But the weird thing about all this is, there's a couple of weird things. The first one being that Zoom's calling out Ralph for actions that he himself took part in, and he was willing to work with someone that was like a known like corrupt individual at the time. And then he released this once once there was a falling out between the two of them. And he's condemning Ralph for actions that he's taking credit for. Like, we, the Plate Gang, we did all these things to these patrons, and he's saying that Ralph was privy to all this, which, yeah, that's pretty bad to Ralph, and if Ralph was already about, like they claim, the doxes, that is pretty bad. Ralph is also shown on stream ordering them to do things like violate terms of service for Stream Me, and also do some other things to fuck with people, but none of them actually, there's no actual showing of any kind of doxes or anything like that. That's one thing that was left out. And there's the other weird thing about all this. The thing that really gets me about this, though, because like the doxing, the making fun of people, whatever. But the thing that bugs me is this is kind of like, and I just got to play this because last week, before the stream was hosted, the week before this, or 7 days ago, Zoom was streaming, and he was saying the exact opposite of this. And I'll play it on stream because it's kind of just, it kind of blows my mind.
I found some very amusing things that I'm going to go over today. One of the biggest ones is this claim that our good friend, Mr. Dark Caesar, is working with a group of angry doxers to dox people for Ralph. That is a crazy claim that people have been making the past few days. I think it's coming from the retard camp, but they believe that Ralph.
Give me a second. I'm just checking something real quick. Apparently, someone in the chat can't hear the video. If anyone's having that problem, let me know. I'm going to try to fix that real quick. Okay. All right, let's refresh, play again.
I
good friend, Mr. Dark Caesar, is working with a group of angry doxers to dox people for Ralph. That is a crazy claim that people have been making the past few days. I think it's coming from the retard camp, but they believe that Ralph is involved with some crazy doxing thing, and that he's in the server, and that this is going to be so controversial, and that we're just holding the cards because we're protecting Ralph. Well, like I said, I'm all for transparency, so why don't we just check out this doxing server? Why don't we see how dark it gets? All right, here we go. I'm getting it ready for you guys. I gotta get up the Photoshop skills and everything. Just getting the information from Kraut. Hold on a minute. He's giving me updates. I gotta delete all the DMs between me and Sargon. All right, here we go. Now, how do you feel?
Better.
Oh man, this is some crazy doxing going on here. There's only one, and it's Dark Caesar Estates, and it's by all the apparent gold star callers on our Ralph server, and it's just Plate Gang, and the whole server is centered around making fun of Ralph and making fun of pay pigs.
All right. Apparently, there was an issue with the video. I'm going to replay it. I've seemed to boosting up seems to have fixed the issue, so I'm just going to replay this one from the beginning. Give me 1 second.
I found some very amusing things that I'm going to go over today. One of the biggest ones is this claim that our good friend, Mr. Dark Caesar, is working with a group of angry doxers to dox people for Ralph. That is a crazy claim that people have been making the past few days. I think it's coming from the retard camp, but they believe that Ralph is involved with some crazy doxing thing, and that he's in the server, and that this is going to be so controversial, and that we're just holding the cards because we're protecting Ralph. Well, like I said, I'm all for transparency, so why don't we just check out this doxing server? Why don't we see how dark it gets? All right, here we go. I'm getting it ready for you guys. I gotta get up the Photoshop skills and everything. Just getting the information from Kraut. Hold on a minute. He's giving me updates. I gotta delete all the DMs between me and Sargon. All right, here we go.
Now, how do you feel?
Better.
Oh man, this is some crazy doxing going on here. There's only one, and it's Dark Caesar Estates, and it's by all the apparent gold star callers on our Ralph server, and it's just Plate Gang, and the whole server is centered around making fun of Ralph, and making fun of pay pigs of Ralph. You see, the majority of the pictures that are posted are mocking Ralph, and people that support him, and gay pay pigs that hang out in his Discord. Buy a Zura, buy a Zura, buy a Zura. And as we go through this, you guys will see that there's quite a lot of cataloging of social media information and emails as I quickly skim through this so I don't get flagged by Stream Me. And yeah, there's not a single thing of Ralph's that's even in there. Ralph's not even in the fucking server. There's logs and recordings that people are made, and this is the whole damning thing that Cow is going to use to take down everything. It's literally just us making fun of Ralph and fucking with people in his server, usually pedophiles. This is the groundbreaking thing that everybody was going to use to shut down Ralph. And this is what happens when you listen to retards like Josh and morons like people from Kiwi Farms that can't get a single goddamn thing right. And lo and behold, there's no Ralph. Ralph has punished Caesar. No fucking Ralph in there. He has never been in there. That is the whole thing. There is no other doxing server. There's the Schmeat server, and all it is just cataloging audio clips of retards like Dispatch and Murderer, and all this stupid shit that them and Josh say. Other than that, there are no other doxing servers. There's no other secret gay op servers like you retards like to talk about. I know you like to, theorize everything, but most of the time you're retarded. Oh, let's see. Autism awareness. This is another one owned by people in Plate Gang. All they do is post Pepe memes and screen grabs. Usually they're screen grabs of shit that, Dispatch was saying on Riot. This was a multi-server coordinated thing where screen grabs and funny things that are posted on fucking stream.me are collected. Or crybaby fucking chat logs between retards that we like to fuck with, like Bronx Blogger. So for all of this amazing craziness that you guys claim that you have insider info on, it seems like you're not really an insider at all. It seems like you're full of shit. This whole retardedness about Ralph being involved with some kind of doxing server is stupid. I mean, I think it's funny to make fun of Ralph too, but get your fucking facts straight or you sound like a retard.
I mean, just, get your fucking facts straight or you're a retard. It's just the Plate Gang, guys. They're just posting Pepe memes. That was Zoom 1 week before the fallout with Ralph, and then afterwards he reveals that, actually, no, he was just covering for him. Like, if you noticed, he clicks on the same servers or at least one of the same servers, Autism Awareness, the Sprite Club, that he said that Ralph wasn't in. He said that Ralph was the only other server that he and Ralph shared was this one server that he wasn't in, but he was in the other one, and apparently there was doxes in there. But before this, he was saying there was no doxes, nothing at all, and it's confusing me because I don't know which set of stories to believe here. Because on one hand, he says he was covering for Ralph, and this was just maybe the first story was part of the cover. He wanted to protect Ralph, or maybe he wants to fuck with Ralph some more by going against what he said about the doxing thing. Because outside of that one element, the element about doxing people, quote unquote, everything he just kind of spins it negatively or positively, because he admits that we fuck with retards, we call them pedophiles, we make fun of Ralph and the pay piggies, which before it's okay, but now, oh no, this is a really horrible bad thing that Ralph has done. So maybe Zoom is fucking with Ralph presently, and maybe this other thing was the truth of the matter, or maybe vice versa. I don't know. It just blows my mind that you can use the same set of evidence to paint two completely different pictures. And it's, again, coming from Zoom. So I don't know. It's just confusing to me. But what we do know, though, is that Ralph likes to portray himself as this white hat kind of dude that wouldn't do anything bad, even if he'll even if he'll tolerate some people that have bad reputations or whatever, according to the goody two shoes of the skeptics. But then he just goes ahead and does that. But then again, it turns out that behind the scenes, he's willing to participate in these activities to at least some extent. Like, even if it's just knowing about this stuff, he'll still call out people for not, saying more about it. But he himself won't do the opposite. But the question comes back to the beginning of the stream: is Ralph a doxer? And to that I say, I don't know. It's not I would say that we don't. Actually, no. Here's what I'd say. I'd say we don't know for sure, but I would say the evidence does not support him. It is very likely that he has participated in doxing, either with the plate gang or on his own. In the case of the other guy, what was Lord Akira, he was probably I would say it's likely that he was involved with that, and it's likely that he was involved with, and we know he was involved with the stuff with the server here. There's also another comment I wanted to make about and there's also one other thing about this, because with all these secret servers going on and all this backstabbing and drama going over the past few weeks, there's just it's been really weird that whether you think that Zoom or Ralph is in the right of the situation, or maybe you think that who gives a fuck, the pay piggies deserve it or whatever. There's one guy that I think hasn't really said anything about this, and it's kind of annoying. It's it's really frustrating, and because this guy, because if we're going to talk about people having double standards and hypocrisies and being snaky, or saying one thing and then doing another, I don't think this guy has had a spotlight properly to put on him. I don't think he's actually gotten proper criticism. So let's fix that. Let me just play this clip, and I'll put it right here. This is Jim, Mr. Medicare, answering one of his super chats.
Producer Chris, did you get doxxed? Yes, I did. The Evil Dead anime. Oh, well, we already read that one. Andrew, could Kraut's pathetic dox job actually be autistic 40 chess move to prove that he's too inept to have a real doxing server, thus clearing his good name through cancerous stupidity? My thing with Kraut, the main issue I took with it was the gay ops, which he's apparently still involved in. The majority of the videos were dedicated to the just idea of gay ops. It's this idea of getting together in a Discord to plot your revenge on somebody on the internet. It's just really fucking retarded. And I don't understand why all these groups of people keep doing it. And it's not just Kraut. At this point, everybody's doing it. You got Discords all over the place. All these people are running back and forth like double agents. It's the world's biggest LARP. It's like all these people missed their childhood and never got to play pretend. Where they ran around with a fucking cape on and thought they were Superman. So this is their opportunity. They're doing that on the internet with each other, seeing if they can outmaneuver each other in their never-ending 42D chess game. I don't get it. I really don't.
All right, that was Jim talking about how he doesn't like gay ops and how he thinks that running around secret servers, pretending to do, plotting revenge and doing shit like that is retarded, and it bothers him. And I just don't get, like, thing is, I don't know. It just seems like Jim was really, really interested in covering this drama stuff pretty much all of last year. He pushed the IBS stuff. He was really into fucking with the skeptics and calling out various bullshit that people would do with all their drama and shit. But now he's just gone quiet. He's kind of done his own thing. So, like, I'll speculate on as to why, and I can think of 3 possibilities. The first one is, and to the best of my knowledge, all that Jim has said is some brief statements here and there, or made some, like, jabs at some of the people involved, like, for example, Ralph and his gun, or that girl Kirsten and her pinecone fetish. The first one is Jim just isn't paying attention anymore, at least not for now. He's moved on, and he's decided to, like, cater to a different audience and talk about other stuff, which is completely possible, and is honestly, like, if that's what he's doing, well, I really can't tell him what direction he should or should not going in. The second possibility is he's aware of what's going on, but he no longer gives a fuck. He's just out of it. He doesn't want to deal with it anymore. He thinks it's all just spurgy, and that's just not really his thing. But there is a possibility that I can't say, like, that crosses my mind. The fact of the matter is that most of the players involved, you got JF, you got Ralph, you got Worski, you have to a limited, like, you have Zoom to a limited extent, you have a whole bunch of people. Jim's given his backing to. He said these are great shows. He said go watch them. He said it's all good, and there's a certain he's already gotten egg on his face once for this with Tonkasaw. Now maybe the reason why he's not commenting is because he doesn't want to get egg on his face again, because this would be embarrassing for him to say that, yeah, all these people I promoted, they're all shit. I don't know if that's the reason. I don't know. Maybe he's holding his cards back, but I'm legitimately curious. Will this be something that Jim covers in the future, or is he just done with it? And to be honest, I really can't be too frustrated with Jim, considering that after a while, yeah, this stuff does get really bogged down. But nonetheless, oh, and there's always this comment that I keep seeing happen over and over again, and it's just deflection, really. Keith Richardson said, and I'll be reading the rest of the chat before I close out the stream, but I just wanted to get this one out of the way. Jim ain't making that JF Garapi video. Well, yeah, he's not, and there's a reason for that. That's not relevant here, though. The thing that happened with the JF video was that a bunch of his enemies who he was memeing on and making fun of were trying to get the attention off themselves and put it on someone else, so that way he'd stop bullying them. That was their plan. Their plan was to make Jim do something stupid by baiting him into talking about JF. I mean, they turned out to be correct that JF is a creepy lolcow, like a creepy rapist, and he also is someone that is spurgy at times. But that's just retarded to try to, like, it was pretty obvious the only reason why they were going after him was because Jim was bashing them. So that's the first part. And the other part about it is, I'm not asking Jim to make any videos. Jim can do whatever he wants. It's just weird that he's not making videos about this. And I don't think we can just take this benign attitude of, like, well, Jim can't do anything wrong at all, ever. And the other part is, people forget that Jim has been pushed by his audience to do things multiple times. The whole reason why he looked into Kraut in the first place, because his first statements were, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's going on with this Kraut shit. It just seems to be like a bunch of drama. And then he started looking into it after his audience kept telling him, yeah, you got to cover us. You got to look into this. That's when he started looking into it, not before that. And I think a lot of people leave that out. So asking Jim to comment on something isn't always wrong. It isn't always A-logs trying to get Jim to do something stupid. And honestly, I am wondering why Jim has been quiet about all of this. I mean, last time I thought he handled it pretty well when he decided to just rip apart the Bloodsports community for acting like a bunch of retards. And I think in this case, a lot of the people involved, Worski, Ralph, JF, Coach, etc., yeah, they deserve to get that treatment because they are acting like they have been doing things that have been shameful and embarrassing and occasionally and sometimes rather cunty. All things that he's gone after the skeptics for. So maybe I'm asking too much for a troll to be consistent, but I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me. All right, well, that was all the topics I wanted to cover. I'm going to read through the comments in the chat. Keith Richardson says that Hat uploaded again. The Hat Man? I haven't heard that guy in a while. I don't know what he's doing. Wasn't he like a former admin of Kotaku in Action? I don't know. That guy was always a weirdo. Or, well, he turned out to be a weirdo later on. He actually was pretty normal at first. When his chat leaks happen, people leak these pictures. Oh, yeah, I heard about this. JT Vega, was that in reference to Ralph? Because I believe, yeah, I heard that there was some personal... Yeah, I did read. I should have probably gotten some of this, but now you mention it, I do remember that Lord Akira was talking about some of Ralph's personal life with his mom and stuff like that, which, Frank, like, one, I think that's pretty shitty, but two, Ralph at this point should know better than to be, like, not filtering that shit. The timing is too damn conspicuous. Yeah, I agree with that. And his irate defense is just fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. Piggy E and Davis from Gamergate Ultras, Vivian's cunt, and Honey Badgers is pro Brexit. Okay, that's weird. I haven't. I will be getting back to the Honey Badgers. There will be, because I think they've gotten away with a lot of stupid shit over the years, and they keep doing it. They're essentially a bunch of money whores, in my opinion. Ian Davis, I haven't heard of him forever. Is that guy still around? Was part of Nutscrape's plan renaming his YouTube channel? I don't know. I haven't. Again, I don't follow. Like, I haven't been keeping up with a lot of these characters from the old Gamergate days. I just, like, to me, they're kind of irrelevant. I'm gonna read a few more of these and close it out. Tommy C's and Nick Dior are dick riders of bigger YouTubers. Yeah, apt description. Gator Gamer was kind of sort of with Cunt of Vivian or neutral. I don't remember. I imagine that Gator would have taken Ralph's side back in those days. Okay. Knives asks, why do you sound like King of Pole? Are you related? I've heard it been sound a little bit like King of Pole. I've never really understood that. But no, we're not related. Archangel Gabriel says he does not sound like King of Pole because he does not sound like he has AIDS. That is true. He might be waiting for the smoke to clear before making a move. I believe this is in reference to Jim. He's done that before. Yeah, he might be doing that. Not sure. I kind of don't like that. It kind of reminds me of Angry Joe. Like, oh, I'm just going to wait until the end of the year before commenting on the biggest controversy in gaming in 2014. So, no, I still don't like that. I'd rather he, like assuming that if he's moved on, then I don't have any issue with that. But if he's still going to be doing this kind of content where he's focusing on online drama and laughing at stupid shit on the internet, I don't get why he isn't covering this. I just don't. All right. That's it for now. I've decided that I'm not going to, for the time being, I'm not going to promise there's going to be a stream tomorrow or the next day or every day or whatever, because it's apparent that I can't consistently maintain a consistent schedule. So, but I will keep trying. So I do plan on making another stream tomorrow. However, I'm not promising anything at this point. So, and the last comment I'll read. I also thought you sound like a little like Monday Matt. Yeah, I've gotten that. No, well, that one I can understand. That's rather unfortunate. All right. All right, so that concludes everything. I will hope to see you again soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.